you guys can hear me, maybe not. I'm still having that same issue that I was having with the button before. Now I'm hearing echo. What the heck is going on here? I am not sure. There we go. Hopefully it's not that bad. You guys, I have a fan going here, and I just realized this light makes my forehead really shiny, but whatever. We'll deal with it. My name is Steve. The show is called Wake Up America. One of the reasons why I have this out is because I wanted to show you. I don't talk much. We used to talk about fusion holsters. So they're the concealable holster that I typically wear. It's a really malleable holster, like I said. You guys can check them out. They donate for every order. I don't make any money off of any of the sales. They actually donate $5 and I believe give free shipping if you use the code PT News. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. But they donate $5 to a police charity for every one sold. I believe they're based in the Carolinas. I just wanted to show the holster because I've had it for a long time. It's my everyday carry holster for the Glock, that I carry every day. And I figured I would show you guys because I always forget to. This show is sponsored by Spartan Armor Systems, though. Protect what's yours. Visit SpartanArmorSystems.com and use code YEET and you'll get... I'm still having that problem with the mouse. I don't know. I got to go buy a new mouse tomorrow. I press it once, and now it works when I try to point it out. SpartanArmorSystems.com. Use code PT News to get 10% off of your order. Oh my goodness. So I spoke a little bit earlier about my travels, so I'm not really going to spend too much time doing that. I guess what we're going to talk about is what the heck has been going on in this week. The week that I don't do any live shows, the week has been nuts. You had police shootings in Minneapolis again, which caused riots, even though they're rioting for people that have been, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you have, even today, who was it? Border Patrol, I think, or DPS used helicopters to, low flying. I forgot what it's called. What is it? Rotor burn or some afterburn to try. They did it in DC in November, I believe it was, where they brought the National Guard helicopters real low to try to disperse all the rioters that were destroying the town. Although that made big news there, but not because they actually were rioting in the city. It was just because the helicopters were used. But I thought it was kind of funny. Someone said Camilla. I'm watching the chat too. Obviously, this is a business. We need to make money. So if you want to have your question read on the air, just do super chats and I'll get through them at the end. Facebook stars, we also accept. Twitch bits, whatever. If you want to donate via Twitch, you could do so. We'll get that eventually. Man, it's been a crazy week, though. It's been a crazy week. So much stuff came out about the coronavirus, and I'm not, obviously, we'll try to be, as nice as we can with that, but I'm not going to, rotor wash, there you go. But we're not going to talk about it too much because it's funny because Facebook put out an article, or Facebook put out a comment saying that they're not going to discourage people from posting things about the lab leak theory, as everyone calls it. Except we wrote an article like 2 days after they made that decision. And guess what? Our article was taken down. And we're a news organization. So when we write an article, we source it and all that stuff. But the funny thing about when Facebook takes down a post from a publisher, they don't allow you to appeal it. You can't do any. Well, yes, they say, do you agree with this decision? And you say no. And then they're like, okay, thanks anyway. That's it. So I wrote about that. Dr. Fauci is an idiot, needs to be locked up for life. That's my opinion. I actually, better off than that. I think the families of the people that died because of his negligence should be able to sue him. But he should also be locked up. He lied under oath to Congress, saying that they're not NIH funded and that this lab leak wasn't supposed to. And then all the emails that are coming out. And it's funny because on Twitter. I guess I'll try to go back. So in February, Dr. Fauci, Anthony Fauci, he was the really short guy that was always in Donald Trump's coronavirus press briefings, and then he carried over to the Biden administration. But he was the guy that was talking about how you need masks, how you don't need masks, how you need this, how you don't need this. We do need to shut down. We don't need to shut down. You should be vaccinated. You shouldn't be vaccinated. He's the guy that flip-flops on depending on what day he is and in what mood he apparently wakes up, or whoever's paying him the most money. He's been long outspoken, or he's been outspoken via out loud. I guess when he's doing press conferences about lab leak and dispelling that theory that it has nothing to do, that this was a naturally occurring virus that happened, and now there's new evidence that's directly contrary to that. Now that's something President Trump, when he was still president, he used to say that, and he was attacked by the media left and right, and a lot of people were censored. We wrote articles, we were censored and had all the little flags underneath saying that this may be not true, or maybe false news, or this may be partially incorrect or partially correct. But they don't, fact checkers don't say why anything was actually wrong. But it was, it just keeps going, and now a bunch of different organizations. I think there's been 3 separate organizations that FOIA requested a bunch of Fauci's emails, and they have over 10,000 pages of emails that show a very different picture than what he was speaking of. One was the death rate, and I'm not going to talk about that too much because a lot of people died. Again, it's what you die of. I actually had this conversation with my family. Not a single person died from coronavirus. That wasn't the cause of death. It wasn't coronavirus, or cardiac arrest complicated by coronavirus. That's not how it worked. It was pneumonia or something like that, or And then I asked as well, how many people have died from the flu? Yeah, we don't have an answer to that as well. I think it was 0. Has there been any reported flu deaths? I'm not sure. Anyway, all these emails came out about Fauci and the different things he was saying to journalists as well. So, these are some, I think NBC News, the chief medical correspondent or the medical director or whoever it was, he came out and was really ticked off that Fauci, it's 6:54. I started early. I would have started earlier, but as I was getting ready to press play, my son fell in the driveway and scratched his leg. And I had to go out there and remind him, we're men, we don't cry. And he's like, okay. He stopped crying until his mom came back out. Anyway. Fauci, what else can you say? Because in terms of the Fauci stuff, I've been talking about it for a while. You've all heard it ad nauseum. They're even playing it on late nights. They're talking about it on CNN, but everyone's putting their own political spin. I want to remind everyone, they went after Donald Trump for years, or for the whole year, talking about how he believed in the lab leak theory and how that's not true, and it's false news and this and that and hydroxychloroquine and blah, 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 blah. And it turns out that the majority of the stuff that man said about what, the coronavirus, it all happens to be true, or at least a lot of it is. Very, very weird. It's very weird. Who would have thunk it, that he was actually being truthful and saying things that are real? I don't know. I like the coronavirus, man. I'm tired of talking about it. I haven't worn a mask well, actually, I take that back. I had to wear one. I went into a government building today, the town building, to register for utilities. But so I had to wear a mask because that was a requirement. But other than that, I didn't even have the normal, one that I just pull over. So I had to wear a medical mask that I happen to have in my truck. But I haven't worn a mask in a long time, and like I said a couple of weeks ago, the reason why I stopped wearing it wasn't necessarily because, the reason why I wore it in the first place was for the comfort of others. It wasn't for me. I could give 2 shits about the coronavirus, myself. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's not a real threat. I'm a pretty healthy guy. I'm not too worried about it. And if I was to get it, which I already think I had, I'd probably just get sick and it'd be like a shitty flu, and then I'd be back to normal, just like always. But unfortunately, a lot of people freak out. So I was wearing masks, for the benefit of others, I guess. Until, and then Joe Biden said, either you wear a mask or either you get vaccinated or you wear a mask forever, or something like that. And I was like, he's senile, so what he says doesn't matter. And then when Kamala Harris said the same thing, you either get vaccinated or wear a mask, those are your choices, I was like, okay, challenge accepted. No more masks. And my personal preference is not to get some foreign substance that hasn't been adequately tested, injected into my body. But that's just me. You guys, I'm not speaking ill of it, because I don't know. The only thing I would say is it's experimental, I'd rather not be the one to be experimented on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so nothing really has changed in the past 2 weeks. Jobs numbers came out for May. They sucked. They were underperforming. And I love how Joe Biden gave a big speech that day, and he's like, "Oh, our jobs are up, or this or that. We've added more jobs and in the during this time period than Donald Trump did, and then Barack Obama." You know why? And this is a misconception about this jobs report that no one wants to actually report on. They're adding jobs that were lost because everyone shut down. So it's not like when Donald Trump took office and he added jobs and the economy grew. It's not the same thing what's going on now. They're adding jobs that are down. That's why we still have 5.7 million people unemployed, or 7.5, one or the other. Who cares? The unemployment number actually went down to 5%. And the reason why that number went down, it's not because more people took jobs. That's a crazy thing. I live in a small town now. I could drive around to the small town, and all these businesses, and almost all of them have help wanted signs. Now is a perfect time to get a job if you actually like to work, because you're pretty much guaranteed a shot at anywhere. You can go to a restaurant down the road, a big national chain. They actually went on Facebook the other day in little social groups, the little something Virginia, town of Virginia. I'm not saying what town I live in. But they all went on there, and they're like, "Hey, guess what? We need work. Do you want a job? Because come on, we'll hire you." And then I passed a pizza joint today that had the same thing. I passed a hardware store, had the same thing. Everyone's looking for work, or everyone has jobs, but nobody's looking for work because everyone's content with the unemployment. The federal subsidy of $300 a week on top of the state unemployment. No one wants to go to work. Shit, why would you? That's a whole point. That's the whole push. That's why everyone says we're pushing towards socialism, because of that approach to everything. Just hand everything out. Insurance, hand everything. Let's just give them everything. Free college, free education, free car registration, free everything. Who cares? Everyone else will have to pay for it later. It's stupid. Someone said your cast was taken down from YouTube. No. So, like I said, I'm having a problem with this mouse. So when I clicked to start the live stream, it actually double-clicked for some reason. It started and stopped the live stream, and because I was using an event, I had to redo it. But I'm live on YouTube right now. I could see that I'm live, hopefully, unless it was already taken down. No, I'm still live. So we have 489 people watching there. But yeah, man, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world we live in. It's nothing really changed. You would think that, Steve got off social media for a week, so everything would be different, right? That it would be happy, riots would be over, everyone would be peaceful. No, Portland riots, Andy Ngo gets beaten up. And again, I see what everyone's saying about Andy Ngo, and I suppose I'll talk about that and give my impression of it. So for anyone that doesn't know who Andy Ngo is, Andy Ngo is a journalist, I guess. Yeah, he's the editor of the Post Millennial, a Canadian news outlet, and they do a lot of great reporting. So I'm not shitting on them, I'm not shitting on him or anything, but he was selling a book, all right? So this is where it kind of pisses me off a little bit. He was selling a book about Antifa. He's probably one of the most knowledgeable people in terms of Antifa in this country, let alone probably the world. He knows more about it. He's pretty much devoted his life after they nearly beat him to death and gave him a brain bleed a couple of years ago. He's literally he's the expert when it comes to Antifa. Well, he had this book that we wrote an article about. We had our affiliate link for Amazon, a bunch of books. A bunch of people bought those books. What was it? Unmasked. Unmasked. And it's I haven't read it, but everyone said it's a really good book, and I think I have it somewhere around here because I did order it because I want to support him. So he wrote this book, and then the Antifa scum in Portland, they actually set up, because it was supposed to be put on the bookshelves at Powell's Books. Powell's Books, then, they ended up holding all these protests and riots, and not riots, but protests, and causing the bookstore to shut down. Andy Ngo then all of a sudden he keeps getting death threats. We all know that. He's just getting death threat after death threat. Well, he continued getting them, so he fled to London. And he said the reason why he fled to London is because of the death threats that he was getting here in the United States. Then he reappears here in Portland last week, unknown to anyone. Someone said he was coming back to care for a family member. That's tragic. but he decides it would be a good idea for one of the most well-known journalists that cover Antifa to here's the thing. If Andy Ngo goes and covers an Antifa protest in New York City, he has a less likelihood of getting found out, right? Because they don't know. He's just an Asian dude and he's covering journalism. And here's the thing that's really stupid. Asian people across the United States have been attacked for looking like Andy Ngo. But Andy Ngo apparently put on a disguise and ran out with the protesters this weekend, and then they found out who he was. And they beat him up pretty good. I watched the video of the assault. I won't say that they were attempting to kill him. They said they were going to, but the actual physical assault, and that's the thing with Antifa, you're a bunch of pansies, all right? You say, you talk a big game, oh, you think yogurt was bad, when fat chick was heard saying, and I'm not fat shaming, she's just overweight, and that's a general characterization of that dumbass. But everyone was like, oh, you think yogurt was bad because before they, poured yogurt on him before they gave him a brain bleed. And here's the thing is everyone thought it was Andy Ngo. There was unconfirmed whether it was Andy Ngo, but then Andy Ngo disappeared. So I'm jumping around. Sorry. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been doing the show, so I'm forgetting the way I do it. Anyway, so Andy Ngo was in the protest. They ended up beating him up a little bit. Really, it looked like they knocked it down. He got a scrape on his hand, a scrape on his leg, and his eye. He must have been hit in the eye, so his eye got a little red. A little bit of I don't know. Like if you're taking a crap and you really hold on really hard and then, and you're really pushing because it's a big one and then you get the little red in your eye. That's what happened to Andy Ngo. And I'm not minimizing the fact that they assaulted him because that's still tragic. But my question is, why would you go out there? Why would you go? Why will you, unless that was your end game, you want to sell 10,000 more books? I really don't know. I don't have a lot of sympathy for people that go out and put themselves at risk. And it's not, I saw someone else, Elijah Schaefer, yesterday or the day before, he was commenting because he's good friends with Andy. And he's like, well, these are journalists and this is something journalism doesn't do, or you don't do, or you do. and no, that's not. That's not. There's Antifa's reporting that he had like BLM flags on and all that stuff, which is all, not true from what I'm able to gather. But he was assaulted. He went out there and got assaulted, and which is tragic. And it's not going to do anything. That's a problem. They killed someone. They killed Jay Danielson. They killed him. Aaron Danielson. They killed him. So Andy Ngo getting beat up is probably going to get more publicity than the guy they shot and killed. Which that's the issue, and I think that's the problem that I have with people going out and trying to. If every time, like here's how I'd back what Andy Ngo did. If he actually goes on the national television, he goes on Fox News, CNN. Well, CNN wouldn't have him, but he goes on all these television programs, and he said, "Hey, listen, yeah, I got beat up, whatever. Yeah, they were threatening to kill me. I was scared. Buy my book, whatever. But hey, Jay Danielson was murdered by these guys, murdered on city streets." Around 6 p.m., he was murdered, shot in the head, or shot in the chest, wherever he was shot. But he was shot. If he did that, oh shit, I'd back him 100%. Unfortunately, to me, it just feels a little bit, and I know a lot of people, a lot of people would probably be pissed at me, but I feel like it was almost for publicity, as bad as that is to say. He's and here's the thing: he hasn't really covered anything else. The Post Millennial were the first ones to report that Jared Huber was apparently the one that was responsible for the death threat on Ted Wheeler, although he hasn't been charged for the death threat of Ted Wheeler, and I believe he's out on conditions right now. It's just. I don't know. It's sad, man. It's sad that one, it's even a talking point, and two, that Portland's still rioting. How the hell are a group of black dress clad idiots walking around that town and terrorizing that town a year later, every day? How? Like, it doesn't, shouldn't mainstream media at this point care? We have a friend that lives in Portland. She said, well, it's not that bad. It's not what the mainstream media makes it out to be. And I'm like, why? Because it's not in your neighborhood? And she's like, well, yeah, it's all downtown. There's not a lot of residential down there. I'm like, they're rioting and killing people. How can you minimize what is actually happening? Like, what do you think happened at the Capitol? Do you think, because it was only at the Capitol on January 6th that it wasn't that bad? Shouldn't you hold it to the same standard then? If you're going to look up, if you're going to pretend like what happened in Portland every single night for a year is acceptable, then shouldn't you feel the same way about what happened at the Capitol on January 6th? I sure as hell don't. I think what happened at the Capitol on January 6th was a riot. The people that were there that were committing crimes, aka rioting, were committing crimes. There were also, 950,000 people that weren't doing shit, that weren't even by the Capitol, and they're still having an FBI agent show up at their door. But yet we can't even get the FBI to arrest someone that threatens Ted Wheeler. Threatens and says, hey, your blood is next to be spilled, or whatever the hell he said in that stupid video. Jared Huber is what I'm talking about there. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? When you think about it from that perspective. And they're still doing it. You still see on Twitter every day, people are like, have you seen this person? This person's wanted from the riots 5 months ago at the Capitol. They call it insurrection. It's not an insurrection. Look up the definition of insurrection. That's not it. And again, you want to call what happened January 6th an insurrection or anything worse than a riot, then you have to do the same thing for all the people that broke in when Kavanaugh was getting confirmed. Do the same thing then. Do all the same thing for all the people that you dropped all the Antifa. You dropped all the charges against all the Antifa members that were arrested at Trump's inauguration. What the hell is the difference? That is the real question I have. What is the difference between what happened on January 6th versus what happens in cities across the United States? Shit, what happened in Minneapolis the other night? What happens in cities across the United States? Wouldn't the FBI's, wouldn't they be better served to like go after, and do what they're doing in Portland, like patrolling the streets? And I don't even know if they're doing that. Has that helped? I know we have a bunch of people in Portland that watch this. Someone said absolutely not a riot. What happened on January 6th was a riot. It was a riot. And nobody, I've watched it. I consider myself to be a riot expert. There was nothing I saw on January 6th, that differed from the attacks on the federal courthouses in Portland, Oregon. Not a single thing, except civilians got killed. That's it. Federal police officers attacked. The ICE agents in Portland, Oregon were attacked. Lasers in their head. People lost fingers. People, were blinded. And that's in Portland. That's not, fireworks, bombs Molotov cocktails being thrown. That shit didn't happen at the Capitol. I'm not minimizing what happened at the Capitol. Yeah, I'll say it again for the record, for everybody that's watching. Every single person that entered that Capitol building and every single person that threw a fist at a cop or even swore at a cop or spit in a cop's direction or even went and looked wrong at a cop should be arrested and charged. That's my opinion on what happened at the Capitol. I think it was an assault on us as Americans. That was my Capitol. They smeared shit in the Capitol. So anyone that says, that's, they were frustrated and they felt like they had no other option. They smeared shit on the walls of the Capitol building. That's not an expression of freedom of speech. You know what I mean? It's just not. Smearing crap and doing all that and taking pictures of sensitive material. Nah. And I'm not going into the big conspiracies about whoever was behind it. You haven't heard me mention Trump supporters. You haven't heard me mention besides Antifa. Although Antifa, the people that have been arrested that have ties to Antifa are out without having to post bail with 8 felonies. John Sullivan. Keystone News Now said, welcome back, brother. I challenge 100 people to match my super chat. Yeah, I do too. Someone said, again, not a riot. Yeah, I don't know. If you're saying, I don't know. Again, what I watched, I would call it a riot. But then again, I had a different visibility because I actually watched the whole damn thing, and then I was so appalled by what was happening, I watched every single video. I've watched every video. I saw when the Capitol police officer sucker punched the old man, which started the whole freaking volley back and forth after they broke through the three gates before they even entered in the Capitol. They're sitting there, and then the Capitol police officer, could have been a Metropolitan police officer, a black dude wearing a yellow police jacket. He's sitting there and he's tracing him. And because I used to work security at a bar, I've seen that. I've seen it, and I said it while we were broadcasting live. I said it. He's gonna punch that man. He's going, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited till the old man turned around, and then the cop punched him. And I had that on the video. Caught that live. Many of you guys saw that. That's what started that whole thing, because once they saw the old man go down, then everyone else started attacking police, and police started going back and forth, and it was a shit show. That interaction between. Here's the thing. What do you call it? Do you call it an assault? You can't call it an insurrection. It doesn't meet the definition of an insurrection. So that descriptor is out. But can you call what happened January 6th anything other than a riot? A riot's a pretty bad thing. I know it's been used very lightly, in the media. A lot of people don't want to, a lot of people don't want to say, well, what happens in Minneapolis is a riot. What happens in over here is a riot. What happens in Portland's a riot. People don't, that word has been minimized now, so it doesn't mean what it actually is. Where people are actually going out and acting a fool, acting crazy. I should grow a mohawk, so when I say that, I can say acting a fool. But you know what I mean? What happened there was, I don't know. I mean, a riot to me is a very bad thing. I'm not going to call it an insurrection, because it wasn't. It wasn't. And if that's an insurrection and they want to call everyone traitors and insurrectionists that were voting to oppose the electorate, Maxine Waters literally opposed Donald Trump. They all did. There were 16 of them in 2017 that had tried to oppose the electorate, but it doesn't apply to them. Donald Trump could say, everyone be peaceful, and we're going to peacefully march down to the Capitol building, and that's inciting a riot. But when Maxine Waters goes to Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, and says, everyone needs to escalate what they're doing, she's not guilty of inciting a riot? Like, what the hell is going on in our country? I'm having arguments with people of whether what something's called a riot or something's not. I mean, what do you call it? A picnic? My definition of what happened at the Capitol was a riot. All those people that were sitting there fighting police, punching back and forth, they're all criminals. They're all criminals. And there were good people there. And the videos and a lot of the content and stuff that you're seeing on social media and from mainstream media, it doesn't show that. The video of them walking through the open doors with the police officer saying, I don't have to agree with it, but you got to respect it, or something like that, where he was opening the door and it's lined with Capitol police officers and they're letting everyone walk through. And then as you see the camera guy go in with them, it all shows a direct line. They follow a direct line. They're taking pictures while inside of the barriers, almost like they're on a tour. That doesn't look like an insurrection. That aspect of it doesn't even look like a riot. That looks like people that were let into the Capitol building. Or you have the other images where the people are literally fighting with police, and you have police that are fighting with, and again, I saw I'll be honest, we watched that. We watched it. I saw a Capitol police officer punch, and it wasn't the first punch, mind you, no way. But I saw a Capitol police officer sucker punch an old man that was literally, they had space probably from me to the camera, which is good. Well, not really. Probably double from me to the camera away. 10, 15 feet of space in between the crowd of protesters or rioters, whatever you want to call them, and because violence was already committed. It was already an unlawful gathering at that point, and then the riot police. And then they had barriers. And the one guy, I said it live on the air. Said it live on the air. That he was going to hit him. I said it. And I got pissed, And I remember getting pissed. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Because, I never will condone people, A week before that, they did it. The Patriots did it. The so-called Patriots did it in Oregon, Salem, I think it was, or the Capitol. They went into the building there. I said the same thing then. I will never, ever condone use of force against a police officer. I just won't. Ever. Never. I will never justify someone punching a cop in the face. I don't give a shit if the cop punched you in the face first. That's just who I am. Doesn't mean that they're exempt from everything. And with the Salem, Oregon, they were fighting. They broke the windows. They did all that stuff. Or maybe it wasn't Salem. In Oregon. They did all that. Then the police came out and pepper sprayed a dog and an old man. That literally, what do you... And I was like, that's bullshit. And everyone's like, how can you support the police after you just saw that? And I'm like, no, I could call out that as bullshit too. Just like the cop sucker punching the Patriot and the Capitol. The same thing. Same thing. I don't think anyone was a patriot that stormed the Capitol. I don't think anyone was a Trump supporter or a conservative that stormed the Capitol, that actually committed a crime to violate the Capitol. I don't think anybody was. That's my opinion. You know why? Because I'm a conservative and I'm a Trump supporter, and I would never fucking do that. That's my house. That's my, no, there's just no way there's just no way. And I can't think that I have values that align with somebody that would do that kind of thing. Now, this is not speaking about the people that were let in, like the guy from Buffalo, New York. We all know about the guy from Buffalo, New York, who had the whole SWAT team at his house at 5 o'clock in the morning. I read the actual complaint. I read it on the air, I believe, where he walked in. He walked through open doors. He took a couple of pictures. No mention of him assaulting cops. No mention of him doing anything. And they only charge him for trespassing in the Capitol and picketing at the Capitol, which is illegal, but only if you're a Trump supporter. Because again, 372 people that did that same thing for the Kavanaugh hearing should all be charged with the same charges as everyone with the insurrection, as they say. Because they all did the same thing. It's illegal to picket at the Capitol. Then why are you allowing Democrats to do it and not Republicans? Or, pseudo-Republicans? I don't even know. But I can't think of any. I really can't believe. I mean, maybe there are people that are a little nutbags and mental. But and I'm not like shaming mental people. I'm just saying, I where in your mind, and this is a question for, people that did go into the Capitol. Where in your mind did you think that what you were doing would help Donald Trump or America? I mean, let's not even say Donald Trump. Let's just say where storming our Capitol, assaulting police officers, shitting on our democracy and our Capitol, literally by smearing shit on the wall. Where do you think that could potentially help us? Me, my kids, our future. Especially if you're the same person that goes out and is like, F Antifa, F BLM, F this, F the riots, F this, F that violence, the senseless violence. Because a lot of the people that were involved at the Capitol are the same people that were shitting on Antifa and shitting on BLM protests and saying, I'm going to run them over, all this stuff. They did the same thing. They attacked the federal building. They attacked police officers. And I understand that some people may have felt like that's their only thing they could have done. But here's my honest opinion, or here's my honest question. If they stormed the three gates and there was nobody to escalate it at that point, because the people that broke the windows and stormed the Capitol initially, the people that broke the windows and stormed through the window with John Sullivan, who's clearly not a Trump supporter. Clearly, I mean, you can't whoever says everyone that entered the Capitol was a Trump supporter, just mention the name John Sullivan, because that's all they have to do, and then they'll notice that no, that's not true. That is that queen bee. Sorry, you guys probably don't know. I have a whole wall of windows right here, and I said it earlier in the show, but we had a bee infestation before I moved here, and we've been looking for the queen bee because thousands of bees died in this room. Tragic. But I just saw a bee fly by that window like that big. It must have been the queen bee. There must be a hive or something up there. The beekeeper couldn't find it. Anyway. But yeah. Someone said, what happened to people over property? That only applies to the left, so tired of the double standards. No, what? I don't know what question that is. I don't know what question. People over property. That's what the left says. I mean, here's the thing. What happened? There's no justification for what happened at the Capitol. Anyone who makes justification for what happened at the Capitol, you're watching the wrong channel. I'll be honest, because those are the same people that think that a civil war and is inevitable and all that stuff. No, I think our country's in dire straits, mind you. But do I think that we all need to go grab our guns and be ready to go? Fuck no. And maybe it's just because I'm more of an optimist. Ask my wife, she's going to tell you otherwise. But we're just not there, dude. We're just not there. Yeah, things are bad. But look at this whole CRT thing. Enough people just kept talking about it, beating it down the necks of everybody. And now it's national. Now everybody's talking about CRT. Now everybody's like, hey, we got to stop this. Parents and teachers and everybody are coming out and speaking against CRT. One day this week or maybe early next week, I'm going to have a whole show that's just going to be about CRT, because a lot of people probably don't understand. Like my wife, she doesn't necessarily understand why critical race theory is a bad thing. She thinks it's good or has good points, and I suppose it does. But if you teach people to be prejudiced against other people based on their skin color, you're a racist. There's no other way to define it. But someone said I got hacked. PT News had to change your password. Oh, yeah. Speaking of hacks, my goodness, dude. What the hell is going on? Colonial Pipeline is hacked. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, there's a hearing. I may try to live stream it. I also may not. I'm going to decide what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to be here to maintain this stream. So I may not live stream it, but there is a Senate or House committee meeting hearing on the Colonial Pipeline hack, which is kind of interesting, because if you saw the breaking news a couple of hours ago, the FBI or Department of Justice actually announced that they recovered the cryptocurrency. So all you guys that invest in cryptocurrency thinking, oh yeah, you can get away with anything, guess what? The DOJ could still track it. And they did. And they said they've recovered the ransom that Colonial Pipeline paid. And then JBS. Now, nobody knows if a ransom was paid with JBS, or maybe news came out today and said that the ransom was paid. I don't know, nor do I care. But isn't it weird that I mean, there's so many different things. For one, Putin kind of said, hey, guess what? See what happens in the next, the weeks before Geneva, because apparently Joe Biden thinks it's a good idea to go meet our adversary in the neutral ground. Man. But JBS was hacked. I believe they're all back up. And everyone talks about, the meat shortage and what that's going to happen. If you followed the coronavirus and what it did to the meatpacking industry, we're not at that point. Yeah, they had to shut down because they couldn't do it. They couldn't receive cows. So you know who's actually going to be hurt from this? It's the people that weren't able to offload their livestock. That's what happened when the coronavirus first set in, and all the pork producing plants in the United States had all these COVID outbreaks and had to close for 7-day quarantines and cleans and all that stuff. And they literally were slaughtering pigs in fields because they couldn't sell them. They just had too much. Same thing is is going to happen with this. But again, it's a demand is going to, it's the same thing with gas. I mean, gas, everyone freaked out. Mainstream media said we don't have a shortage. Everyone else was like, yeah, we do, because everyone panic bought thinking that it was going to be the end. And I don't know how the fuel reserve works, and how I think we have 900 trillion barrels of oil. I don't know how that works, if we could steadily release that because we have so much of ourselves, and how long is that going to take? Or if you shut down the Colonial Pipeline, how long does it take to get everything going? It's just really weird, man. It's just really funny. When you think about everything. Someone said, oh my God, he moved out of Florida. Yeah, I did, because to me, Florida isn't just about being a Republican. For me, it's a better... I know everyone's happy about Florida because of all the protections that they give being conservative. And you know what? I'm not afraid. I still have my right to bear arms here. I still have my right to vote. I still live in a school district where my kids aren't going to be taught that CRT shit. And if they are, then we'll come home. My wife's a teacher. She's not going to teach it, and she's a liberal. So that tells you something's wrong with that whole CRT thing. But we moved here because everyone keeps asking the question, why the hell would you move to Virginia? Virginia's commie. Well, no, the majority of Virginia is not, actually. The majority of Virginia is red. It's just the bigger areas happen to be Democrat, and the governor is a Democrat. But maybe the governor won't always be. There's this one big guy I know who's watching right now that's packing up his house. You should be governor, bro. Come on, man. I'll be your campaign manager / bodyguard. Yeah, I don't know. We need good candidates, and there's a lot. I get emails all the time where people are like, "Hey, Steve, I listen to you, and I'm running for office, or I have a city council seat, or city committees, or I joined 3 different committees, or I was appointed to these, or I just sat in my first city council meeting and I don't understand it." I have dozens and dozens of messages from people that have decided that they're going to get involved politically because they need to be able to control their own destiny and have some stake in this in the future. Someone said, saw where 3 sheriffs in Virginia switched from Democrat to Republican because of the left's anti-police crap. Yeah. Someone, oh yeah, I can't even read all the comments there's going to. Someone said it sounds just like Oregon. Yeah, I was telling that to somebody else who's like, oh, Oregon's not bad. I'm like, are you kidding me? They were thinking about taking a job out there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Why the hell would you ever do that? Granted, you don't have, you have an older kid, so it's fine, but damn, bro. Like, that's if there's one place that I wouldn't move, like, even if someone paid me, if someone right now said, Steve, I will give you $100,000 a year plus free housing to move to Portland, Oregon, hell no. Hell no. Because then, for one, my kids are going to be indoctrinated by that shit that they're teaching in schools. My wife is going to turn into more of a liberal, and I'm going to go out and do some vigilante shit every single night. So there's no way in hell I could ever go to Portland, Oregon. No way. And live. There is going to be trips to Portland in the future because, hell, if Andy No can do it, so can I. I don't know if I'll really blend in, a 300-pound, very angry guy. First window I see break, I'm like, okay, gig's up. I would be mad. But that's the plan. I plan on going out there. I plan on doing a lot more stuff, a lot more different coverage and things like that. Hold on. I don't know. I'll have to read your message after because I don't know what you're saying. You're saying someone texted me and said they believe. I'm guessing you meant it was an attack on the Capitol. I don't. It was an attack on the Capitol. Is what happened a couple of weeks ago by the Nation of Islam guy that killed a Capitol police officer, severely injured another, charged at him with a knife before he was wounded or before he was shot and killed. That was an attack on the Capitol. That was an attack. What happened on January 6th wasn't an attack on anything because they went in with, yes, you heard all the stupid chants about Mike Pence and all this stuff. Those are fucking scumbag morons that were yelling that stuff. This goes for anyone. If you guys chanted to hang up Mike Pence and do all that, you're not an American. You're a traitor to this country, and I would love to meet you face to face so I could give you the old one of these, because that's not what you do. I do not like Joe Biden. There's never a day in my life that I could ever fathom chanting to hang him. Because you do that. If you do that about someone sitting in even the worst possible part, even Ted Wheeler, who I think is a scumbag, or Mike Schmidt, the DA of Multnomah County, those people who are like the lower levels of like so you have cow crap, like in a field with cow crap, and then you have Ted Wheeler and Mike Schmidt right down below. I would never, threaten physical harm on them because I have a brain. So I can't, and that's, I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. I don't know. It's so stupid, man. It's crazy. I can't read all the Facebook comments, so if you guys are going back and forth, trying to get me to read something, the best way would be either be YouTube Super Chats, which I'll read at the end of the show, or the Facebook Stars. I think I have it open. I do, so I'll quickly read it. And one, it does two things. One, it helps us raise money. And secondly, it is another way for us to be able to pay attention to the people that have questions that I don't get to answer as much as I would. I call those people the scum below pond scum. Someone said, yeah, that's true. Cow crap is still more useful than those bozos. Yeah. It's stupid. I understand the frustration. I mean, and I'll say it again. What happened at the Capitol was a disgrace. And the people that did it are all criminals and deserve to go to jail. Do they deserve to be in 23-hour lockdown? In fear for their lives, not getting the medical attention that they need, and only getting to go outside once a week for an hour? Fuck no. Excuse my language. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's how they're being treated. 435 of them are sitting in DC jails. And that's how they're being treated. I have a letter, or someone posted a letter online of someone there saying that they are afraid. They are literally afraid that they're going to be killed in there, that they feel they are being political prisoners. And some of them are. I know people that are in jail right now. And here's the thing, some people are like Cash Lee Kelly, or whatever his name is. He's in jail now. He's not in jail for being in the Capitol, even though he was, and he took a picture and he owned up to it. He's in jail for his previous conviction. and being found guilty of his previous conviction, and now he's facing charges, so he may still be under that level of judicial restraint because he's being held in the DC jails, where the Department of Justice, mind you, is not the one that puts the coronavirus lockdowns. They're not the ones who are putting the restrictions on. That's Mayor Bowser, is that her name? The DC mayor. She is the one that's in charge of that lockdown in the Department of Corrections there. Because it's all contracted. They're not sitting in federal prisons. They're sitting in the local jails there. Some have been transferred to Virginia. The rest are still there in D.C. But I was talking to someone said, but he's being threatened. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are being threatened. I mean, hell, I'll be honest. And this is a horrible thing to say. I don't have sympathy for the people that are in jail, the people that went into the Capitol and committed crimes. I don't have sympathy at all. I get letters all the time asking me to bring attention to them in there. Short of saying they're being treated like animals, I don't know what else to say. They committed crimes. Are they traitors? No, but it's just like I hold the same sympathy I would for anybody else that goes out and commits a crime. They committed a crime. And a bad one. They smeared shit on my Capitol. I keep saying that because that's a whole new level of scumbaggery. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, well, it wasn't that bad. They didn't set fire. They didn't do this. Well, I saw them punching cops. I saw them hitting cops. I saw them, taking pictures of sensitive data in our Capitol. No. Someone said you do the crime. You do the crime, you do the time. Yeah. Someone else said trespassing is a misdemeanor. Oh, yeah, they're getting ransacked with the charges, okay? Nobody is saying, or I'm not saying that they deserve to be there. They deserve to do the time, but if you believe in bail reform, then shouldn't they all be out too? How come you're holding people without bail that, are dying of cancer? That's my genuine question. Why are you letting people out that sold murder footage and you're not holding them accountable for their actions, and you're letting them out with bail after they threatened to burn down the Capitol and offer knives to insurrectionists, horrible insurrectionists, and broke windows inside the Capitol? How come you're letting them out without bail while charged with 8 federal felonies, 2 of which you just added a week ago because you found out he lied to federal authorities? And yet you're locking up other people and it's just sad. It's sad. Someone said super chat. Did I miss something? I don't know. It's someone said how about equal justice under the law? They watched it all summer long. Yeah, everybody should. Everybody should have bail. Everyone that's at the Capitol doesn't pose a threat. I mean, here's the truth. That probably for a lot of them, they're probably safer in jail than they would be out on the streets, because a lot of people, there's a lot of people like me that view that as an attack on us. I personally feel like that what happened at the Capitol was an attack on us, because I am a Republican, I am a conservative, I am a Trump supporter, and they made me look that way. And even if that wasn't their intention, but that's it. You know what I mean? That's it. But they shouldn't be. They should by no means should they be under 24-hour lockdown or 23-hour lockdown. Nope. I mean, I've read one where they're getting a bologna sandwich every single day except one day, and they get peanut butter and jelly. Again, we can't verify any of that's true. And a lot of the issues that people have is that they're not even getting the attention or the actual lawyer time. They're not getting qualified lawyer time, and everything's being listened in. It's sad. Someone said these people are dealing with a political punishment. That's the truth. And I'm not doubting it, because here's the thing: people are getting arrested for murder when they're out on bail for murder. So if you want to hold people accountable, and not Capitol rioters, I'm just saying other people. If you want to hold the people to that robbed or that did that at the Capitol, hold them to the same standard that you're allowing everyone else. Look in Portland, Oregon. You got a guy, Jared Huber, right? He was arrested for lighting a dumpster on fire and pushing it into a courthouse and attacking minority-owned businesses. They released him without bail on 6 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. And then they downgraded a couple of the charges. He's still facing charges, but he was released without bail. You know how often that happens? It happens in New York City. It happens in D.C. as well. I'm very curious if the guy that stabbed the 4 Proud Boys in December 12th, here's a job for any of you guys. Find out if that guy is facing any charges. The guy that stabbed the 4 Proud Boys December 12th. Find out if he's facing any charges. Because you guys remember the video, because I was there on December 12th, just being a journalist and recording everything. And I was there pulling people off of this guy so they didn't kill him after he stabbed 4 of them. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know that they were trying to stop him from slashing everybody up. I had no idea. I just saw someone getting hurt. But then I heard the way they actually phrased it is they listed the victims as suspects. The four dudes that were slashed up, the one that was in critical condition, they listed them as suspects in the assault of the one guy that was an Antifa guy that came in there and stabbed 4 of them in the middle of the group. Has he been charged with his crime, or is he out walking the streets now? I'd be very curious to find out about that. Someone said the Capitol Police aren't handing over the videos that they have. Judicial Watch is demanding it. They're not going to. They're going to call it's a matter of national security. But here's the thing. And see, a lot of the videos have been removed. I still have all my Capitol footage. I think it's available on PTNN if you're a subscription member. I don't know. I can check right now. And I still have it all the footage. And mind you, I was here. Well, I was in Florida, but I was live streaming it from there, and we were cutting to every single feed. And then I'll be honest. At one point, I shut it off. It got too much for me to watch because I'm not going to watch people attack the Capitol. I'm not going to promote that shit. Those are criminals. And I maintain that. And everyone's like, oh, you don't know. You're just not at that breaking point. Nor will I ever be. So no, I can't ever back it. You know what I mean? How can anyone back what happened at the Capitol? Does anyone actually think what happened at the Capitol was a justified response? Type in the chat. If you think what happened at the Capitol was a justified response for the aggression that everyone's been facing for a year, and with what happened with the election and all that, we all know. We don't need to say it. We all know. But do you think what happened at the Capitol was a justified response? And if you do, then here's 2 questions. 1, why weren't you there? And secondly, stop watching my show, please. I'm just being honest. So I guess it's not on PTNN anymore. I'll find out and I'll put it up there. I'll put the whole 8-hour feed there. Everyone saw it coming. I saw it coming too. Someone just wrote in the chat, I saw it coming. So did I. That's why I didn't go. And we had a cameraman there. Yeah, the FBI has already talked to him. But we had a cameraman there. And who did not go in the Capitol, even though people tried to say he did. He did not go in the Capitol. But I even tried to talk him out of going. Even though the flights were already paid for and everything. I was just like, don't go, dude. I had a bad feeling myself, and that's why I didn't go. I look at my wife, I look at my kids, and I decided what's more important. Me going to capture, Donald Trump speak, because originally that's what I thought it was. But truthfully, it was all what happened December 12th as well. And seeing what happened December 12th, I'm so glad I didn't go there. Because I would have not been one of the people that were storming the Capitol, and I probably would have got hurt because I would have been stopping people based on who I am. And there were a lot of people like that. I saw a lot of people, and again, you're not going to see that footage. Damn, this is turning into a January 6th show. But we saw a lot of people on footage that you're not going to see where they're actually pulling people back after assaulting cops. I saw one dude he was a big dude too. He pulled a guy back and just straight up punched him right in the face after that guy grabbed a cop. And he wasn't a cop. He's a patriot. That, my friends, is a patriot. But it is what it is, man. There's not much. Steve quotes, "Scumbaggery is epic." Yeah, I should. Someone saw the setup a mile away. Yeah, and it's funny because I wasn't involved in any of the Telegram chat rooms or anything like that. Even though we monitored them with the Portland riots, I just didn't feel a need to care. And apparently, according to Sullivan and according to others, that's where a lot of the planning, and that and Facebook, which is really funny that Parler got taken down when Facebook was the one that was the lead instigator in instigating the whole thing that happened at the Capitol, or the platform that allowed that instigation. But it's Jody Rice to get your old news here. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We've talked about new news as well already. So I appreciate you watching, Jody on Facebook. 2 words for you to begin with and end with off. I censored myself there, but you get the gist. No, I mean, it is what it is, man. It's a tragic scenario, and hopefully one day that, you know, I hope they do get all the people that actually committed crimes. I hope they get every single person that punched an officer. I hope they get every single person that broke a window and took a picture of some sensitive data in the Capitol. I hope they get every single person that you know, climbed through the broken window to enter the Capitol, because you're not entering the Capitol peacefully if you climb through a broken window. And I hope they get the Capitol police officer that fired and killed Ashley Babbitt. Because again, and we always talk about it, that, my friends, was a murder. There's no way, and I know I have police friends that watch this, that was a murder. Think about use of force. Think about the protests over the past year when police officers are literally getting the shit kicked out of them and are still getting charged with murder. And then you have someone that shoots someone from 15 feet away, a small little girl, when you're a big ass dude. Come on, bro. Not a justifiable use of force at all. But we'll never figure it out because they have to prove that it was done with malice or something. I read some lawyer who he agreed with the decision not to charge, but he disagreed with the decision, if that makes sense, because they didn't have any legal standing to charge him. They know he did something wrong, and that's why they're not putting out who the officer was. But he had a reasonable use of force based on the statements that he gave to justify that use of force. But they're not releasing what any of the statements are, so you're never going to know because they don't want anyone to know. But someone said, I'm tired of talking about the same bullshit over and over and over again because we all know it was a setup. We need to move forward, and we need to help those incarcerated for no god darn reason. Well, no one is, at least I haven't found anyone that's incarcerated for no reason. I haven't. Because to be honest, a lot of the people that were peacefully walking through that didn't go through the broken windows, because here's the thing, you can look at the police complaints, the actual DOJ paperwork, if you have a Pacer account or you're a lawyer or have friends with a lawyer or you're a journalist, you can pull up each, as long as they're not redacted or sealed. Typically you got to get them first thing in the morning before they seal them. But you can find every, and these FBI agents aren't slacking when they're doing their investigation. They may be wasting tremendous amounts of taxpayer dollars, but they're not slacking. They know based on all the footage, because they have all the footage, even though they're not releasing it. They have all the footage of inside the Capitol, of every single entrance, every single window, everything. So they know when they're arresting someone, they're saying, well, he entered into window C and climbed over, or he exited through window C. That's why the Rochester guy got arrested. My belief is because he did enter through an open door. He climbed through a broken window when he left. He didn't exit the same way. He didn't do anything else. Nothing. Not a thing. Didn't commit any other crime besides walking through the Capitol, and they charged him with the protesting because he had a shirt that said, what did it say? I don't remember. Oh, something about CNN. CNN sucks or something like that. CNN is fake news, I think is what it said. But someone said vote audit will sort. Yeah, I'm not going there. I think it was the same guy that was supposed to protect Steve Scalise. It was not. But everyone says that, and that's why no one reports it. We believe here at PT News that we know, or now Citizen Media Group, we believe that we know who the shooter is, but we're not going to publish it because what if we're wrong? And that's the truth, because we know, we've seen what happens. And if we were to publish a person's name and it's not him, and that it is a good person, we're just not going to do it. But I encourage everyone to look into that first guy that's named and ask yourself, after scouring through his social media, how the fuck is he a Capitol Police officer? And I forgot his name now, and don't write it in the chat. But the first guy that was released in the news, or the first name that was released by the independent guys, he's not the shooter. He's not the Capitol Police officer that fired those shots. But look into his social media and tell me how someone that believes that, you know, killing people based on their political beliefs is an acceptable form of freedom of speech. How the F is that person protecting sworn political people in the Capitol? How the hell was that guy even allowed to be in the vicinity of Donald Trump if those were real social media posts? I have no idea. But it's crazy. Someone is talking about the bracelet on the hand. Guess what? I found 4 separate photos of 4 separate people that all had that same bracelet. So again, that's why we're not reporting it, because I haven't been able to independently verify that those people are the same. But someone said, to be honest, I probably walked into the doors. They walked in and opened them. And see, this is the interesting thing is that video. Remember, does anyone have access to that video? Because I don't have it anymore. I forgot to download it. That video where they're walking through and it was a black Capitol Police officer that was there and says, you don't have to understand it, but you must respect it. And he said it, and it was clear as fucking day. And he's walking, and all the Capitol Police officers were lying down the sideway. That would be the best defense for anyone that was actually seen and arrested while walking in through those doors, because they were let in. There's another door where they were opened up by the Capitol Police. But again, you can't minimize the fact that there were doors where they beat down, and there were Capitol Police officers that were beaten severely. We see those too. Unfortunately, those are the images that we see. We don't see the actual good conversations, the people stopping and taking pictures, with police officers. There was one guy that a police officer lost his cap, and a lady picked it up and handed it back to him. Yeah, I mean, you don't see that kind of stuff on mainstream media because it doesn't fit their narrative. It's not enough for them. It doesn't do them any good. All right, let me see if I can get to this super chat stuff. I don't know why. Like, see, right now it says no super chats. And I know there are super chats, but it says no super chats on YouTube Studio. Let me see. Because I see the total amount. So I see that there were super chats, but it says no. I got to find a better way to pull it. If Adam, if you're watching, there must be some way that logs this so I could see. I don't know. Let me check Facebook now for the stars. Christine Smith on Facebook with huge stars said, I would love to meet you in person, but I don't really want to have to downgrade anyone to... I don't want to have to downgrade anyone to meet you, LOL. I don't know what that means. I don't want to downgrade anyone? I don't know. Patricia said, welcome back. Thank you. Christine said, with your personality, you will be safe and happy anywhere. Don't worry about what other people think. Oh, I never do. Christine's... the same one said, I've missed listening to you. Glad you're back. Oh, thank you. Deborah said, we've missed you. I was only gone for a week, boys and girls. I think I had a Slack message, probably from Adam or April, telling me how to figure out this YouTube thing. So let me see real quick. In chat, someone said, mouse settings, additional settings, double click speed. Oh, this is early. That's how to fix it. I don't know what the hell this is. I heard a Slack message, but I don't have one. YouTube Studio has been broken, Adam said. Gotcha. You have to go to your main monetization tab and then click on Super Chats and look at the list of your recent Super Chats. Oh. All right, I'm doing it. Hold on. So, because YouTube is broken. I apologize, everybody. I want to do this because some of you guys do ask questions, and I think it's only fair that I address your questions. Supers, is that how I do it? Oh, I see it. Okay, I don't know if this is all of them, but there's a lot. God Rides a Harley said, can we get over 100 super chats? No, we can't. Not today. And what do we got? All right. So, the great phrase, that was earlier. Valerie asked how your move went. Well, it went well. If you listen to the video, it's been crazy. When we got to the house on Friday night, there was no power because our transformer that's on the edge of the yard there, the end of the lawn or whatever, blew up apparently before we got here. So there was a ton of, for some reason, there were big ice bags in the fridge. Yeah, they melted and flooded the kitchen. Yeah, it's been interesting. We got the dryer fixed finally, but then the faucet or the the turny things. I don't know what you call them. It's late. But those things are leaking, so we actually have to turn off the water every time we're not using the washer. Our kitchen sink is clogged, and the plumber's coming tomorrow to redo all the pipe because they can't figure out why. What else? Oh, it's got really old outlets throughout the house, and the electrician said they don't have to repair it because it's like governed into being old, so I can do it myself. But they're so old that the like shit that you plug in just falls right out, which is super annoying because where I want the TV downstairs is on the opposite wall of where I had the cable installed. Because normally you would think, okay, if you have a big screen TV, you put it over the nice big fireplace / built-in bookshelves, right? That would make the most sense. Well, no, my wife doesn't want it there because there's some stupid little tile thing from 200 years ago that she wants to be able to look at. So now the TV is on the opposite wall, but I had to figure out how to get the HDMI cable to work. And so I bought this thing on Amazon, and I may link it. You'll see some product articles that are going to come out about tech shit that I think is cool with Amazon links because we're an Amazon affiliate. It's just another way for us to make money, plus tell you some of the cool shit that we do. So with this thing, now I have this little receiver that sends a wireless signal to the TV. So it's cordless. It's actually pretty rad. Once I got it to work, because at first it didn't work, but it's cool. But Keystone News, you're the one who started the super chat thing today. I appreciate that. You said, welcome back. I challenge 100 people to match my super chat. Yeah, you lost. I think only like 20 people did, but still pretty great. Tech Tinktronics with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Nanner News on YouTube said, glad to have you back. Sullivan update. Oh yeah. I was going to do that. So he put out a big court document thing. So they filed a big response to the seizure of the $90,000 that was in his account. Now, I was going to write an article and release it today, except I didn't have time because I'm working on the book. I'm working on everything. So I didn't have time to do it. But one of the things that I found interesting is he lists his sources of income outside of the Capitol footage. And you know what it is? Google AdSense, 401k disbursements, commission from a logistics company. I'm not going to say which one yet, which is kind of interesting because they lied to me when I originally wrote the story about John Sullivan in September. And you're like, Steve, the Capitol riots didn't happen until January 6th. Why were you writing about a Capitol rioter in September of last year? Because he was an Antifa scumbag that was accused of shooting someone in a protest, but they're all Trump supporters. This guy wasn't. He actually hates, Trump supporters. Anyway, but he has payments, commission from that, and a severance package, apparently from Proofpoint, which he listed in his complaint. Now, Proofpoint, originally in September, they refused to comment on his employment status, but then we soon found out because of my inquiry into John Sullivan, they fired him. And apparently they gave him a severance package, which is pretty amazing because he is a scumbag and doesn't deserve shit, and they wouldn't have had to pay him if they actually, just said, hey, he's a terrorist. Mind you, this is before. So, oh God. So I don't want to make the whole show every single day about John Sullivan. So long story short, he said he needs $4,800 to survive, and he doesn't have it because he doesn't have a job, and he's not out filming and making money. So he wants the murder footage from, or at least the bank accounts removed, so he can have access to that money. And I didn't check to see if there was a complaint, or like if they're allowing it, and I don't know. And frankly, I don't care. The guy's a scumbag. I mean, if anybody should be in jail for what they did at the Capitol when they're caught on tape doing it, it's that fella. It's that dude. Because one, he said he was going to burn it down. Two, he tried to offer a knife to get to where the cops were to pick the locks. Three, he broke windows inside the Capitol. Four, climbed through a window on his own footage. He said so. 5, did I mention he tried to burn it down? 6, he posted videos talking about how he was going undercover dressed as a Trump supporter. 7, he was a known Antifa member. 8, he was involved in the June shooting of a citizen who was driving through a protest. 9, he threatened Donald Trump standing on a podium outside in, August, yelling outside of the Capitol that he was going to drag Donald Trump from the office, and they couldn't wait till the election. 10, he was in Portland chanting all the anti-BLM shit all the time. 12, he was in Los Angeles doing the same thing. 13, Denver doing the same thing. 14, New York doing the same thing. 15, Netflix was, not Netflix, a production company with ties to Netflix was making a documentary about him. what number is 17? After the January 6th Capitol riots, there's apparently a book deal in the works, and someone's writing a book about this fucktard. And I could just keep going. And the funny thing is, he thinks now, or like he says it sometimes, that he believes that I just get all this information from his family. Do you know how many random people that went to like high school with him, went to elementary school with him, just know him, people that walk next to him, neighbors, people that see him, people that walk dogs and see his car. I get messages from so many people about this dude. I'm just waiting for the FBI to call me and be like, hey, are you going to be a witness at this guy? Because you know more about him than he does. You can count me in for that one. I will absolutely testify against the terrorist. 100%. All right. Shucky Ducky said, welcome home, Steve. We missed your rants. Thank you, buddy. Derek Palmer said, thank you for everything. Oh, thank you. Robert said, Adam told me to do this when he was in Fairborn, Ohio. Thanks for sending people out. PT News. Oh, yeah, no problem. When you get to Black Hills, OD, South Carolina on your vacation, let me know. Welcome back. Glad to show your history. How many yeets could a yeet heat? Said not your dad. Quit asking. If a yeet could yeet. I actually had a shirt that said that. It didn't sell very well, so we stopped making it. But yeah, and then Susan had a super chat too that was retracted. She must not have, or message was deleted, so I'm not sure what it said. But yeah. What else? Do we have any more of these stars? Let me check real quick. They go from there. But I appreciate all you guys for doing this. I'll fix the lighting tomorrow because I can't tell if it's like super dark like it is on this preview screen or on my display screen there. One day I'll also show you the back way too. Someone said, Steve, I told you 2 weeks ago to get a generator. You know, I screwed up. Because I had a generator in Florida and I actually gave it to the neighbor. Why? Because I was testing it and the carburetor was, it just started spilling gas everywhere. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. So I gave it to a neighbor because I was planning on buying one of the big ones. I have the built-in inverter because that's what we need for the RV. I didn't buy it. And it would have been nice. But my truck, we actually did try to use my truck because my truck has an outlet on the back. And we were going to use that to light some stuff, except we realized we didn't have any lamps because they were all packed away. We couldn't find them because it was dark. Anyway, someone said, I think the lighting looks great. You look good. Thanks. But yeah. That's about it for this show. Freedom Flashpoint's going to be live on PTNN in a second. I forgot. I got to do it. Sorry, Adam. It's going to be a little bit. I got to talk real quick about this. If you guys don't know what we're doing, Citizen Stringer is a new app that we are currently building. And we are asking you guys to be part of something and help us break the way the news is reported. So we're doing something different here. PT News is actually rebranded as of June 1st. Citizen Media Group now owns PT News. It owns everything. So that was the first step of a long process of trying to build all this stuff up. So what we're actually doing is we're building a community app. So the app is going to replace YouTube. It's going to replace Facebook. It's going to replace DLive. It's going to replace Twitch. It's going to replace everything. This is a little bit different than what I was saying before. And it's going to replace PTNN. So what we're going to do is everyone that's a member, everyone that's a supporter on Facebook, everyone that does all that, we're going to cancel all that stuff as soon as the app is built. And then you'll be able to just be a member there and do all sorts of stuff. And then the whole second aspect of the app is going to be where you upload your news. You report the news. I guess the easiest way to say it without running too long and to say it's going to be awesome. Like it's such a cool system that we're building and it's such a cool idea. And I can't believe that, myself and Adam came up with it. Someone said you need a background decorations and such blank wall. I know you got the setup going on. Yeah, it's not going to be a blank wall. It's normally I have a green screen. Green screen is, you saw it there for a second. But the green screen, this is a plaster wall. So we have to go buy those like tape. I don't know what the hell they're called because I'm not going to drill into the wall. It's actually, they did a really good job for plaster. So I don't want to drill into it. So we're going to buy those, sticky things. I don't know what they're called, but they have hooks on it. And then we'll hang the green screen so I can have the different backgrounds like I like. And then I have the 2 big studio lights that I haven't installed yet because this light sucks. So I'm going to put the studio lights on either side and it should be perfect. And then I'll have the big overhead talent light and then we'll be good. So just bear with it. I forgot command strips. Yeah, there you go. But we'll have those. Will Adam not be on here? No, Adam is on Freedom Flashpoint. So you got to go to his channel now. If you're watching on YouTube, go to Freedom Flashpoint YouTube. The reason why we separated that is because when we all went to one YouTube, everyone stopped contributing. We all do this for a living. So it sounds stupid, but these super chats, when you guys buy shirts, these super chats, the monthly memberships and all that, that's what helps us be able to do this. And, you know, so we split back up, hoping that it would allow everybody to make more money than what we were doing before. And so far, it seems like it's working for those guys. So that's good. But if you want to be part of Citizen Stringer and you want to be part of something huge, please visit. You'll see it just double tapped it again. It's so freaking annoying. See? It's double clicking it, and I don't know how to fix it. There. If you want to be part of the new app that we're building, these are just mock-ups of what they're going to look like. They're actually going to look way better. Please visit the link that's down. If you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're watching on Facebook, it should be in the description. April, if you'll be so awesome. You just did. You are awesome. Put the link in there. And then just go and support it. There's different levels. Like if you choose to be a backer, you can get a backpack. If you do a huge one, you can come party with us in our new offices that we're going to be setting up in the fall. I haven't decided where I want them to be. I mean, I was talking to my wife. I'm thinking this area where I am it's a perfect opportunity to open a gym / like news, you know, where I could kind of combine everything all at once. And, someone said, check your mouse settings. Yeah, April sent me a message. So I'm going to do that after because I don't know what's going on with it. It's annoying. Someone said he has no power. Oh, Adam's out of power. Oh. You need a wireless mouse and keyboard. About $30. I don't need a wireless mouse and keyboard. I'm a gamer. That's why I have a gaming laptop. Or a gaming computer. Adam's power is out. Oh, well, I could keep rambling. Should I just keep rambling? Could do that if Adam's power is out. I didn't get a message saying his power's out. Oh, yeah, he did. 8 o'clock. Power, no ETA, hot as F. My bad. He might go live from his phone. Well, I suppose I could keep talking. I'm not going to talk forever, but let's see. Let's get a super chat thing going, and I'll stay live for a little bit. Not forever, like I said. Let me see. See, I'm not even set up to show any live streams or anything. Let me see what's going on. I don't even fucking care. Oh, the pipeline. This pipeline shit's going on. Indigenous-led direct actions to move to stop the line. Someone just sent me this message too. This unicorn riot. Let me see if I can get this live stream. I guess police. This is where they're doing the flybys and all that crap earlier. I don't have it set up, so you guys got to bear with me while I do this. Shucky Ducky with a $5 super chat. Thank you, bro. So let me do this one. Local desktop capture. And now I'm showing my wrong screen, so that's not it. Sorry, like I said, I redid everything on the setup. So, and because I use a dual monitor, or no, I use a curved monitor, I have to crop the monitor to fit the video. Or something like that. Man, I should have had like a commercial queued up. But I didn't, so what can I do? So this is what's currently taking place. Oh, shit. Okay, you know what? Let me just do it like this. We'll just go old school. And I'm going to throw it in that corner down there. Sorry, no, you're probably like, what are you doing? See, it double taps it again. Oh my God, this mouse. All right, so this is what's currently taking place. I know it took a really long time to do that, right? You would think it would just be very quick. So this is currently in northern Minnesota. Arrests have continued into the evening during the direct action. As summer approaches, the wet season moratorium is over. Construction for the new 3-line tar sands pipeline is ramping back up in early June. This increase in work was expected by water protectors, who made a call out for activists to gather indigenous and something territory to escalate protests against the pipeline project to transport diluted bitumen or something like that. So yeah, there's this little thing that's going on. It shows riot police out here. I don't see, because everyone was like, "Oh, it's going crazy. There's a lot going on." I'm not seeing a ton going on right there. So hopefully it's not. Someone said something. Yes, this is a new house. I am now in Florida, I am now in Virginia, no longer in Florida. Not a resident yet, but eventually will be. That's why the lighting is all kind of messed up and shadowy. I think it would be better if I had like my baseball cap on, but I don't even know where it is. All my shit's still packed. PPD arrested a boatload of people and actually gave them federal charges. Portland Police Department did? I didn't hear about that. But someone said, what will happen to Line 3 if not replaced? Line 3 is not replaced. The existing pipeline, originally built in the 1960s, will continue to operate. Yeah, but nobody cares. That was Unicorn Riot that was streaming. That's why I don't show them a ton. Someone said, bought a generator. Instructions are in Chinese. Uh-oh. That was Freedom Flashpoint. I don't know why it's doubling that, man. I'm not doing that on purpose. It's my mouse. There's something wrong with it. I've already tested the mouse click speed. There. Now it'll show up. And now the feed froze. Wonderful. Oh boy. FYI, guys, we'll have a live stream, some school boards, and take drinks tonight. Someone said, only a Mr. Bill. So you're going to school boards, Bill? Only Mr. Bill is in Twitch. He's a live streamer from the Portland, Oregon area. I think he said he may be going on to some school boards. Someone said, what's going on in Minnesota? It's just what I just showed you. It's a protest at a pipeline. And to be honest, they see the Unicorn Riot feed descended. But these protests happen a lot. And now there's another one. Oh, here's actually a better area. Now I gotta switch this whole thing again. Fucking A. Hold on, let me see if I can just make this bigger. Made it smaller. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but Adam understands. He understands how much goes into this. Every single time we like switch something, we have to cut and crop around everything. It's such a pain in the ass. But again, it's because I wasn't set up to do this, because I wasn't going to, and I'm not going to stay live forever because just don't want to. See, fucking mouse there. So this is another angle that's currently taking place. Again, hundreds blockade Line 3 pump station in mass direct action. Direct action is what it's supposed to say. This is on Facebook, NDN Collective. And they're all saying the same message, so it's kind of interesting. They're all we're live at the northern Minnesota as Enbridge continues construction on the Line 3 pipeline. Water protectors are taking action to defend the water for future generations. From Action press release, Enbridge must stop construction Line 3 and be held accountable for the devastation they have caused to indigenous communities and Earth. Now, I believe this is where they used helicopters before, DPS, I believe, I could be wrong, where they used the helicopters and flew over to push all the debris on the protesters, and they arrested a bunch of protesters as well. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting what's going on, but reinstall the mouse drivers. Yeah, I've restarted the computer. I don't know. It may be time for a new mouse anyway. Writing history has a clip in it. Someone said, where is this? This is Minnesota. Like I've said 1,700 times. And I'm not being, whatever. Adam said he may be going live on his phone. That's super high tech. So let me put this like this. Seeing if I was really prepared and was ready, I could be like, oh, shit, there's one. Have another one over here. Have another one down there and another one down there with just me in the middle. But I'm not going to do that. You know, it takes time to build, someone else said. Man, oh man. You take battery out of mouse. It's a corded mouse, so that's you can't remove the battery. I don't know. I've already messed with the settings a couple of times. I'll do it after. Someone said, did your hands get stronger during the move? I don't know. Someone said, do I own a recreational vehicle? Don't know why you're asking that. But yes, we have an RV and dirt bikes. Those are considered recreational vehicles, right? Or a dirt bike. What feed are you showing? Again, already said it, NDN Collective. I'm not going to stay live. I don't want to. I'm sorry. I started this live feed early. Tomorrow we have a bunch going on. I'm going to be doing some traveling again. Got to go help the family. So I'm doing some traveling while writing some news. I'm going to Wednesday. Yeah, this week, even though it's supposed to be 1 week. What the fuck is all over this? I don't know. But even though it's supposed to be 1 week, it seems like this week is going to be a little bit hit or miss. But I'm going to try to do at least one show every day. Okay, so just bear with me on that. My normal times that I go live are from 7 to 8 p.m. Occasionally, I'll do a live show during the day, and that may replay at 7 to 8 p.m. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. But I appreciate you guys for tuning with me and following in. I'm just going to go watch TV and go to bed. It's been a long day. You guys have moved at some point in your life, so you know it's going to take a while. Plus, I'm not done moving. Tomorrow, I'm going back to families. I'm grabbing all there. Some more stuff that's coming to our house, garden furniture and shit like that, dropping that off. And then Wednesday, I'm going back to them, which is an hour and a half away. I'm going back there again, picking up stuff that's going to North Carolina for my mom. So I'm coming here Thursday, then driving to North Carolina Friday, driving back to Florida to finish everything there, which is only going to take me about 20 minutes. But then I'm going to drive all the way back up here too. And then by next Monday, everything should really be back in stock. That's where you'll see some new branding and some new graphics and all that stuff. The boxes, we're putting them back, or we're putting them together tomorrow. The mystery boxes that everyone has ordered, we're putting those up, putting them together tomorrow. So half of you will probably get shipping notifications tomorrow. The rest will probably get them the next day. But those will all go out. And yeah, we're just doing a lot. So I appreciate all you guys for bearing with us this week. Please make sure, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that bell right now. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook and you're pissed off because they're not telling you when I go live, hit exclamation point. What is it? Exclamation point follow, I think. I think that's what it is. And that'll allow you to get the notification. And of course, click the link in the description if you want to be part of what we're building with the Citizen Stringer thing. The app that we're building, that is going to change the way news is reported. It really will. It's one of the most it's one of the craziest things. You could see now they're zooming in on the actual guns. So I guess they're trying to say it's live ammo. You don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about guns to say, do they have non-lethal in there? Or I don't know. Probably not. But I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, in the links to this video right now in the chat, you guys will see the link for the Indiegogo page. I beg of you, support that. We're doing something awesome. It's going to be amazing. Again, check out fusionholster.com for one of the best. This is probably the best conceal. And not to crap on the other guy that sent me the other one. Because all the stuff is actually readily accessible. Because another viewer actually sent me these, and this is Phobos holsters. So, and this is for the same Glock. What the hell is that? Glock 29. So I think this is Phobos Holsters. So he sent me the same one. I am partial to inner waistband holsters myself. This is one for outer, and it's got the paddle back thing too, and then I have an adapter. But then again, I may do that. I'm thinking about making a couple of goofy body armor, Spartan armor commercials now that I have the body armor back here, because I'm now getting settled. So I was thinking about making some goofy commercials out in the driveway or something like that, woods, like funny ones like, are you living in Portland, Oregon, and you wish you had some body armor, or you feel unprotected? And then just like click my fingers and cut the video and be like, here's some body armor you can get from, anyway. I'm just going to try to be creative and do some goofy stuff in the future. So, do you have safe bulletproof vest? Yeah, we have quite a few of them. So Spartan Armor Systems, if you've noticed this thing that's popping up all over the place, SpartanArmorSystems.com is our official show sponsor. You could visit their website, SpartanArmorSystems.com, to buy some of the best body armor. And I'll show it tomorrow, because then I would have to get up. It's over there. And I have the tactical vest is in one of these boxes somewhere, because you can't see it. It looks nice and tidy right here, but I have all the boxes and all the windows. So all the boxes are there, not unpacked yet. Takes a while to do it. But that's it. I notify. That's what it is. I notify on Facebook. The exclamation point, notify. Exclamation point, notify on Facebook, and it will allow you to go. Do you have bulletproof underwear? Who wears underwear? No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Please check out Citizen Stringer on Indiegogo. Just Google it. Citizen Stringer on Indiegogo, and you will find the link for it. All right? See you guys later. Bye. Forgot to press the button.